We're headed into the final few months of 2024.
And we've got some late summer, early fall board gaming favorites to share.
In this episode of Little Big Thumbs.
Welcome to Little Big Thumbs, a channel that's all about finding great games that are equally fun for little players and big players. My name is JP.
And I'm Milo.
And in this video, we're going to be talking about some of our board game reflections throughout the third quarter of 2024. So we're talking July, August, and September. But first, we have to figure out who's going to have the advantage, the edge, the person who is going to share their business first.
Yeah, that's true. If you're familiar with the channel, then you know that we play a lot of these games from Hand Games 21, and today we're going to be playing a game that is called More. So in this game, I think of a number, well, one of us, I don't have to be the player, but...
You should be the player.
Okay, I will be that player. So I am going to think of a number between 1 and 100, and I am going to give a clap indicating what that number is. The louder the clap, the higher the value is going to be. So if it's, within the first 10, maybe it's just a little quiet, tiny tap. And you'll get 5 guesses, and after each guess, I will give a clap to indicate how lower or higher the number is. Does that make sense?
I think so. And so 5 guesses. So I'm getting 5 guesses. Mm-hmm. And so if I guess your number on the button,
then you win.
Then I win and I get to go first. And if I fail.
After 5 guesses, if you fail, then I win and I go first.
All right, let's do it. Let's go.
Okay, cool. I'm going to think of a number. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, all right. I'm going to start with 15.
That's a very interesting guess, considering you haven't heard my clap yet.
What? Oh,
I give you a clap and you try and guess that number.
Oh, I see. All right.
That was my bad. I explained it very poorly.
No, not at all.
Okay, we're going to try this again.
All right.
Here we go.
So you clap, and then I guess based on your clap what the number is.
Nailed
all right.
it.
Restart, redo.
Okay.
Okay, that's not a 15. I'm going to go 57.
Okay, so now I give another clap indicating how much lower or higher you need to go.
Okay, all right. Oh, a little bit lower. Round number, 40. Lower still. 32? That's 3 guesses. Oh, higher now. 39? Oh, 37.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I got it?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. All right. Very good. All right. So I won More. That's the name of this game from Hand Games 21. As always, every time we do one of these videos, we'll put the link to the Hand Games 21 website in case you want to get this super cool book filled with neat little games to occupy yourself when you don't have a table to play at, or if you do. Anyways, so I've won the challenge, so I'm going to go first. My board game stats. That's what we're starting with, isn't it? All right, so in the third quarter of 2024, I played 152 games. 30 of those games were brand new to me, games that I had never played before. And my most frequent gaming partner was my youngest daughter, Little Bean, Josie. We played so many games together, like a large gap between how many games I played with her and everyone else in my life. So that's cool. Got a little gamer wanting to play a lot more games than her older sibling, which is fun. Love my little gamers. How about you?
I played a total of 109 times in those 3 months. 32 of those games were brand new to me.
Nice. So
I learned a lot, just like you. I played the most with my best friend BW. We were playing The Crew, which I mentioned in our last quarterly update. So we played some of that, but also we played like a bunch of new games together too. So
Awesome.
always grateful to be learning new games with my best friend especially. What was your H index?
Oh, H index. Thank you. My H index for the quarter was 4. So that means there were 4 games that I played at least 4 times each.
Right, that makes sense. Mine was 3.
Okay.
So that's pretty standard for me.
Right. Very good. Very good. And so my most played game of the quarter was Castle Panic. Castle Panic. This is a game. This is published by Fireside Games. Plays 1 to 6 players, and our plays usually last 30 to 45 minutes. And my younger daughter, my little bean, is obsessed with Castle Panic right now. So there are like most of the nights right before bed from these 3 months, we had a game of Castle Panic set up. And this is a cooperative game. If you're unfamiliar, this is a cooperative game, a tower defense game where we're on this board, and there are swarms of monsters coming in from the forest trying to break down our castle walls and steal all of our muffins or whatever they're after. And as a team, the board is like split into zones, and we play cards to try to reduce the health or eliminate the monsters swarming in from the board. So we started with the my first Castle Panic, the intro game for younger kids, and after a couple of plays, we're like, okay, we need to move on to the big one, to the older sibling of this game series. And my little bean took to this game so well. She knows how to set it up on her own now. She doesn't need any of us to help with that. She knows this game like the back of her hand now, to the point that we've even started introducing expansions into Castle Panic. And there are so many expansions for Castle Panic. So I should clarify, I mean, we're doing our 100 play challenge of Unmatched and Similo. And so we didn't play more. Actually, I think we might have played more Castle Panic than Unmatched this quarter.
Wow,
actually,
that's a lot.
yeah, it's true. So Castle Panic, most played game of the quarter.
Nice. Castle Panic is a great game. It's the second cooperative game that I ever played. Yeah.
Very nice.
And it's stuck with me through the years. It's a good one.
Fantastic.
The game that I played the most this quarter is Bananagrams.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So, BW, my best friend, introduced it to me like within the last year, and I had been sleeping on Bananagrams, let me tell you that. I had never played it before, and I thought that it was overrated. People compared it to Scrabble, and I love word games, as you know, I love them, but I just for some reason wasn't interested in Bananagrams. But I played it the once like a year ago, but then I like replayed it during the last like few months, and it's just like made such an impact with me and my friends. We play it all the time. My partner Hannah loves it. We play it all the time. It's just like a game that lives in my car now, and wherever I go, whether it's a restaurant or a coffee shop or like a walk along the waterfront, like I have it with me and I'm always down to play. So I played it a total of 16 times. If you haven't played Bananagrams, what are you waiting for? It's a great game.
So Bananagrams, funny that you bring it up, because my brother-in-law recently asked for some board game recommendations for a school library. And so I gave a list of games, and Bananagrams was on that list because it not only is the game like frantic and fun on its own, but there's so many ways to just use those little like tiles to do all sorts of different wordplay.
Yeah.
So very cool.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
Cool. You and I have never played Bananagrams together.
No.
We should fix that. We should fix that soon.
I played it earlier tonight actually
Did
with
you?
a friend. Yeah.
Oh man.
I introduced my friend Kathleen to Bananagrams, and she too was like hesitant to play. We went camping together a few months ago, and anyway, it was one of the games that I brought camping with us because Hannah, my partner, was like really wanting to play it. And so Kathleen was like, fine, I'll play one game with you. And she loved it, and she's obsessed with it now.
Sweet.
So when she came over earlier, Kathleen was like, can we play Bananagrams? And of course I said yes.
Amazing. Bananagrams. Next up is our biggest surprise of the quarter. These are games that kind of defied our expectations in some way. And for me, my first surprise of the third quarter of 2024 is a new game to me, anyways, called Spotlight. Spotlight is published by Horrible Guild, also the publishers of Similo. Spotlight it's another cooperative game in which Where's Waldo? Okay, so this is like every player has their own little Where's Waldo board, and it has like a sort of a dark overlay over it, and we have these little cardboard flashlights. And you take your flashlight and you slide it under this dark overlay, and it creates like a literal spotlight on the board. It doesn't involve any electronics whatsoever. And so we can use that to search the board and kind of give some focus to our search. On the inside of the box itself, there's a little track. And as players, we are moving around that track, and following us is the moon. And if the moon ever catches us, then it's bad news. We lose potential points at the end of the game. But the way the game works is that there's a deck of cards. You flip over a card, and it's got like a person or an object, and we have I think 1 minute to use our flashlight to search our Where's Waldo board to find as many instances of that thing as possible. And it's not just like a duplicate. Like if you have, like, say, a pirate, the pirate might be like clenching over this way, or it might be like I don't know, standing on top of a pirate ship or something. And so it's up to between like 1 and 10 times you'll find something replicated on your board. I like the way this little simple little flashlight works. Just blew my mind away, and my kids are just addicted to it as well. I'm starting to work on my like top kids game list of the year, and this one has leapt onto it in a big way. So I'll be shocked if I'm not talking about this game again at the end of the year, maybe late December, early January. So that's my first big surprise of the quarter, Spotlight.
That sounds like a wicked game. As you were describing it, I could definitely envision it, but I feel like I would appreciate like seeing it in person and how it worked so much more. So I'm very curious.
I can't wait to show it to you.
Yeah. So the first of my games is called Nasty Neighbors.
Really?
It is published by Four Drunk Friends Inc. And so as we all know, I'm not like the hugest fan of party games or games that have that vibe. And right off the bat, like the publisher Four Drunk Friends Inc., I was like, okay, this is a party game. We'll see what this is. But I was pleasantly surprised. So, Nasty Neighbors is a game where you're going to have a grid of cards that are in your yard, and your goal is to try and clear out your yard through having either like the same number repeated, or having like a run of numbers. This is in simple terms. And there are different ways that you can like screw over your opponents by either like swapping places with them or like putting a stump in their yard. There's lots of different cards that you can do. And so the thing I noticed when I was playing this game, it was fun and silly with the seat swapping and whatnot, but also Nasty Neighbors is basically a play on some really classic card games that have existed forever, but took like a new spin on it. So if you've played Golf or Cabo or Play 9, any of those, it's got a very similar vibe, but with like a few tweaks that I felt like it was like new and exciting and a little bit more strategy involved too. And not to mention the artwork is gorgeous. So I was blown away by this. I was really surprised.
Very cool. I've never heard of this game. Never heard of this publisher.
Oh.
And I'm curious. I can't wait to see what Nasty Neighbor is all about. My second surprise is called Aqua. Aqua is published by the Op. And this is a tile laying game, 1 to 4 players. Games usually take maybe, again, 30 to 45 minutes to play. Recommended for ages 8 and up. And so this is a tile laying game where we're trying to match colors in order to attract or lure small sea creatures onto our little ecosystem. And if you can put together a number of like different small sea creatures that'll lure a larger sea creature onto your board. So it moves surprisingly quickly. But anyways, I've been playing this game solo for a bit as I get to know the game. And as I'm playing this game, I'm like thinking to myself, this is just too complicated for my kids. It's just I just don't see the gateway. I don't understand why it's recommended for 8+. But it does have a family-friendly variant to it. So my older daughter asked about Aqua, very pretty box, super gorgeous components, really like chunky tiles. And so I was like, all right, you're asking for it, so we'll try Aqua using the family-friendly variant. And oh my gosh, the surprise at how accessible, the difference in between the more complicated rules and there's one element of the game that's removed that adds like public goals, that really adds like real like brain melty business. Taking that away just makes this boom super accessible game that we both really enjoyed, and I was just shocked. I mean, lots of games these days have these like family friendly variants, and sometimes they're like small changes, but this is like you make one adjustment. It kind of reminded me of the way Calico changes when you remove that one element to that game to make for the family mode, and how it goes from being like a really thinky game to being not at all, like super accessible. Same kind of vibe here. So great surprise in Aqua, discovering how my kids can get their way into this game, and then eventually grow into that more complicated full experience of the game. So that's my second surprise.
Absolutely. Aqua, I've heard a lot of things about it. I haven't played it myself, but I'm so happy to hear that because I mean, I don't have any children, but I do play a lot of games with people who maybe aren't as used to like the heavier, more thinky board games that I am. And so if a game has an option to, make it a little bit more simplified by just removing a couple of rules, I love that. It's a great way of introducing games to these other friends and getting them into the hobby, and then reintroducing those more complicated rules later on. So I love that. I can't wait to play it.
Amazing.
My second game that was a surprise to me is called Art Robbery. So this is a Reiner Knizia game. It's another party game. Surprise, surprise. I feel like the last few party games that I've mentioned were the ones that I was like surprised by every quarter. Because I have such a low bar for party games. But okay, so Art Robbery is a game where you are robbers, and you have just robbed an art gallery, and you're now divvying up all of the art that you've stolen, and the art is worth different points. And basically there are these cards that have numbers, and there are tokens in the center, and the tokens are worth points, and you can play a card to take a token from the center and put it in front of you. But eventually there will come a point in the game where you play a card from your hand that has a number, and that number isn't in the circle anymore. In the center of the table, somebody else has that token. So now you can play the card to take the token from somebody else. So there's a couple other things you can there's like a guard dog involved. So if somebody like tries to steal one of your tokens, you can like give them the guard dog token instead, stuff like that. But it's really quick. It's super fast paced. The game lasts like 15 minutes max. It's for 2 to 6 players, so it's a pretty good player count as well. We played it one night, me and a bunch of my friends, and we played it like 3 more times that same night. It's so quick and simple. It was great. And I got this game at a convention that I recently went to for $5. Like nobody had placed a bid on it, and I was like, $5, like, even if I don't like the game, whatever, it's $5. I might as well get it. And I'm so glad I did. It's so good. I'm obsessed with it. Art Robbery.
Very cool. I'm trying to visualize this. It sounds like it might be quite small.
It is.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I can't wait to see it. Okay, Milo, it's time to talk about our favorite game of the third quarter of 2024. And I'm going to kick things off with a game that you've heard me talk about a whole bunch in recent months. My favorite game of the last few months is called Umbrella. This is published by Pandasaurus Games, plays 1 to 4 players, lasts, I think, in the range of 45 minutes, recommended for ages 8 and up. And the idea of Umbrella is that you are like in a busy New York City intersection, kind of looking top down from the sky, and all you see down below is a sea of umbrellas. And the game itself kind of plays like a slider puzzle. So you've got this grid of umbrella tokens, and each turn you're going to be pushing one of those rows or columns from up or down or side to side, and you're trying to make patterns that match goal cards that you have above your board. But the thing that really makes this game kind of sparkle for me is that the way that the interaction happens with the other players, because there is like a central a street intersection board where anytime you push an umbrella up from the bottom, the whatever's on the top pops out and goes into that central intersection board for everyone to use on their own boards when they're pushing downwards. And there's also, you share a board side to side with each player, and so when you push to the left or the right, you're also creating the pool of umbrellas that the other players have to work with. In addition to that, these goal cards that sit on your boards, when you fulfill one of those, you get to pass it to another player, and that gives them more goals to work on. But if they already have like a full slate of goals, you can cover up one of the goals you think they're working on. So there's just a little tiny bit of like a nasty edge to this game, if you choose for it to be there. And I'm just like supremely enamored with Umbrella. I've played this at every player count, and it's just there isn't anybody that I've introduced this game to that didn't have a great time playing. I have played with kids, I have played with adults, I have played with casual players, I have played with experienced gamers, and everyone across the board has thought that Umbrella was a really fun experience, and it's pretty quick to play, doesn't wear out its welcome, gorgeous to look at, and just such a fun experience. One of my favorite games that I played this year. So like for me, no surprise. It was not a hard decision to pick Umbrella as my favorite game of the quarter.
Nice. I haven't played it yet, but
You
I
haven't played Umbrella yet?
haven't played it. I know. I've like everyone that's close to me has played it. Like
Yeah.
literally all of my best friends, everybody that I work with at the cafe, and yeah, they rave about it probably just as much as you do. So I don't know. I just haven't played it yet. I'm excited to though.
All right, we're gonna fix that.
Okay, so the game that I've chosen for my favorite game of the third quarter is Santa's Workshop.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Nice.
So this game has been out for a little while, but I hadn't had a chance to play it until the convention that I mentioned. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, Santa's Workshop is a Christmas themed game that's a worker placement. It goes up to 5 players. And it takes between 30 and 60 minutes. And I was blown away, which is like, I would say pretty surprising because it's been hyped up for so long for me. Like I've heard so many people talk about it that I had a pretty high bar and it was still exceeded in my one play of the game. I wish that I had gotten another chance to play it, but I will again someday. Don't you worry. I will find a copy and I will never let it go. So a bit more about the game. As I mentioned, it is a worker placement game. And, there's a series of different things that you're doing. You're building toys and putting them into Santa's sleigh. You're helping to decorate the tree. You can help take care of the reindeer. And you're making points through all of these different means. And player with the most points at the end of the game wins. The game itself was really, really fun. I love a worker placement game. But the thing that I loved most is just how strong the theme is of Santa and Christmas and the North Pole, like everything. It was so well done, and like every mechanic in the game made sense thematically. There's nothing I love more in a game than a strong theme, and Santa's Workshop does have it. So Yeah, Santa's Workshop. I could talk about it forever. I love Christmas. Christmas is my favorite time of the year. It's coming. I'm very excited right now.
Fantastic, fantastic. Santa's Workshop. I know a fair bit about it. We received a review copy that actually had some missing pieces, so you and I never had the chance to play. So I'm glad that you finally had the chance to play Santa's Workshop. Really pretty game. This is like a second edition of a game from a fair bit ago. I think it was
2017, I think.
Okay, so it's been a number of years, but I know there were some like mechanical changes to this new edition, and hard to argue with how it looks. Glad to know that you think it like really captures that Christmas spirit, and I can't wait to play. So now we've talked about our best game of the quarter, and this is a great time to ask what is the best game that you've played over the last number of months. Let us know in the comments of this video. We'd love to hear about it, especially if it's a game that we haven't heard of before. Always good to add new games to our wish lists.
Yep.
But I want to say that we're now obviously in our third quarter of doing this series of videos. And Milo, what I'd like to do is go back through when we do our fourth quarter video. I'd love to take our picks from the previous three quarters plus that one, and have each of us kind of debate what is our game of the year. So based on all of our quarterly experiences, what was like the single best game of the entire year based on these quarterly picks? What do you think?
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
So I think we've only got one more thing left to talk about in this video, and that is to give a status report on how we're doing with our 100 board game play challenge featuring the Unmatched series and Similo. So Milo, how are you doing with Unmatched?
Unmatched, I am doing pretty decent. I'm a little bit behind. I think I'm around like maybe close to 70 plays, which is slightly behind, but I am confident that I will pick up the pace. I just downloaded the app recently, and so I've been playing a lot of like solo games versus AI, and like that AI is challenging. I've lost more games than I've won lately, but anyway, I will get the 100 plays done, no problem.
Very good. I'm dragging a little bit behind you. I'm sitting at 65 plays right now of Unmatched, and I tell you that app is a godsend to get those 100 plays in. What difficulty are you playing on the app?
I had started with medium and I was just losing and I was miserable, so I changed it to easy.
Okay.
And I'm still sometimes losing. So
very good. I play a lot on medium. I just had a game the other day with Sinbad as my character. Love the Sinbad deck. Such a solid deck. Yeah, great. So you said 70?
Just below 70.
Just below
I think.
70.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm at 65 plays of Unmatched. And how about Similo?
Similo, I'm much higher. I think I'm in the 80s somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'll probably be done, I would say like early November at this point. It's one that I play a lot, even outside of this challenge. Like I've loved Similo for a little while, so.
Nice. My Similo plays have, I'm sorry to say, they've kind of plummeted in these last few months. I'm sitting at 59 plays of Similo. We'll get there. We'll get there. We got some holidays. We got the Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada. So we'll get some Similo plays in there, but I gotta get a move on. I gotta get a move on if I'm gonna get to 100 plays of Similo before the end of the year. And for that we have our kind of our donation scheme worked out, where we are going to be donating $1 per play to the organizations that we've talked about previously. And I want to throw out sort of a curveball to you, Milo, just in case. In the case that one or both of us don't get to our 100 plays, I'd love to kind of up the ante, kind of dangle an extra carrot in front of us here. And so I want to say for every game that we do play, that we're donating $1 each. And I want to say for every game that we don't play, we have to pay a penalty donation of $2.
Okay.
So if we make it to 100, we're making a nice donation to these organizations, and if we don't make it to 100 plays, we're making an even bigger donation. that seem fair?
That sounds fair.
All right. It does not mean that we're allowed to sit back on our laurels. We have to get to those 100 plays if we possibly can. But if we don't, then we don't want our charitable targets to suffer as a result.
I love it. Let's do it.
Great. And so that's it. That's it for this video. We've covered our most played games, our biggest surprises, and our favorite games of the quarter. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching along. And yeah, we'll be back again soon. So until then, whether you've got little players
Or big players
make sure that you keep playing games
that make your thumbs
go way up.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.